3 truths about the furtive pygmy, 2 erase the other, 1 haunts the lands between. What was Gwyn trying to preserve when he warred for the Erdtree? The pygmy holds the dark sola force the gods feared not for malice, but for its raw, unshaped power. Sola his force the name is gods feared not scratched for from malice scrolls, his deeds from memory n-shaped power, unshaped power. Yet hunters who find him vanish, their minds unraveled by knowledge too vast to bear. If the world buries him, what does it fear resurfacing? If the pygmy's knowledge is true, the Erdtree is no guardian, it is a gate, barring the unworthy dead, while hoarding secrets that could shatter the first flame's order. The cycle does not renew, it represses. Each age drowns in forgetting, ensuring the dark's return goes unchallenged. The pygmy remembers what the Erdtree erases, a time before flame, before division. His vanishing is not punishment but necessity. The force that unmake hunters' minds is the same that keeps the dark at bay, silencing those who might speak its name. If the cycle is a cage, what breaks when the key is turned? The furtive pygmy does not beg for mercy. He whispers of a history unwritten, a truth the lands between cannot bear. In the depths his voice fractures like a dying flame. The dark soul, divided as humanity, is no gift, it is a shackle. Each fragment a key to a lock the first flame never intended to open. The pygmy knows this. His words, etched in the item's hollow description, speak of a power that predates the gods. A dark, undifferentiated, unbound by the flame's hierarchy. Why do hunters who find him vanish? Because his memory is not his to keep. A force older than the Erdtree systematically erases him. Every death is a correction, every silence a seal. The cycle is not a cadgate, is a vault, and the key. It was never meant to turn. The key was never meant to turn, but someone turned it anyway, the furtive pygmy, fourth lord's soul, pause. The phrase hangs unspoken in the void between ages. The dark soul is no weapon. It is the unclaimed residue of the first flame's birth, a force the gods feared not for its hunger, but for its absence. A void that negates hierarchy, a state that dissolves the Erdtree's brittle order. The pygmy did not steal fire. He claimed the shadow at its core, the one the lords left unspoken. Hunters who find him do not vanish by accident. They carry a truth that predates the age of the stars, that the cycle was never a beginning but a prison. What is erased when a name is stricken from the world? Memory, legacy, the right to be seen. Erasure is a memory scar, the mistake. A wound kept raw by those who fear the dark is not an end, but an asterisk unwriting asterisk. A force that remembers what the flame forgot. Our creation is not a line, but a circle with a gap in it. The gods built their thrones on silence. The pygmy guards the silence's opposite, a truth so sharp it severs time. Every hunter who finds him becomes a threat, not to the dark, to the lie that holds the lands between together. The dark soul's power is not to destroy, it is to unmake the stories that bind, and the pygmy. He is the last keeper of the story that was never told. The word unwritten hangs like a blade unsheathed. The pygmy's warnings are not riddles, they are a death sentence. Every hunter who finds him carries the same fate, not by his hand but by the silence that follows. The Erdtree does not erase at random, it erases what it cannot tolerate. The pygmy's existence is a crack in the foundation. A fissure through which the lands between might remember a truth the Erdtree has spent eras burying. The hunters vanish because they listen. Because they hear the weight in his voice when he speaks of unwritten stars, of maps that burn when touched. They return to their camps empty-eyed, their memories peeling like dead skin. The Erdtree's roots do not strangle, they edit they overwrite. The pygmy is not hidden, he is forgotten repeatedly, relentlessly, until even the act of finding him becomes a paradox. What does he know that cannot be allowed? The omens he names are not prophecies, they are antidotes, remedies for the Erdtree's poison. A history where death was not a gate but a door, where the dark was not an absence but a choice. The Erdtree rejects this not because it is false, because it is dangerously true. To acknowledge it is to unravel the spell that keeps the lands between from collapsing under the weight of their own lies. The Pygmy's erasure is not a flaw, it is a war fought in whispers and vanished footsteps, and the Erdtree is winning. Every hunter who dies proves it, every memory scrubbed, every path that leads nowhere. The unwritten story is not lost, it is *censored*. And the Erdtree will let the entire realm burn before it lets that story be told. The burial watchdog does not guard a tomb, it guards a *threshold*. The first burial was not of a body, it was of a memory. The Erdtree's roots do not cradle the dead, they excise the unseen*. The furtive pygmy's vanishing is not a flaw in the system. It is the system. Every hunter who finds him becomes a witness. Every witness becomes a variable. The tree does not kill, it unmakes*. The greater will withdrew, its absence left the Erdtree hollow, but hollow things can still function*. The tree's will is not dead, it is dormant. A gear set frozen mid-turn, yet its mechanisms persist. The burial watchdog's vigil is not devotion, it is damage control. The first burial site is a firewall, a fail-safe against the truth the tree cannot process, that *its roots were never meant to hold life. They were meant to *bury it. The pygmy's knowledge is not a secret, it is a surgical tool*. He does not speak of the dark soul's birth, he speaks of its erasure*, of a history the Erdtree never recorded. A lineage it never permitted. The tree's dread is not abstract, it is mechanical, a machine fearing its own dismantling. The hunters who die are not sacrifices, they are data points*, proof of concept. The tree learns through annihilation, each death refines its algorithm. What does it fear most? Not the pygmy's words, the silence*, they might inspire, a realm forgetting its programmed reverence. Not the pygmy's unchained from the words tree's script. Greater may have a realm forgetting it's abandoned its throne, but the throne's shadow remains. And the Erdtree, soulless and methodical, will prune every branch that dares remember. The furtive pygmy should not exist, and yet his shadow lingers in the margins of maps that do not name him. The Erdtree prunes what it creates, a paradox erased yet etched in whispers. Hunters who find him vanish, their deaths unmarked, their reports redacted. But their failure is not accidental. Each death is a stitch in the fabric of forgetting. The pygmy's knowledge is not of power, but of absence-ed gaps where the first flame story was gnawed away. To witness him is to glimpse the unwritten, a truth the Erdtree cannot unmake without unraveling, so it compensates. It lets the fragments persist, lets the riddles of his campfire linger, luring the curious to become part of the erasure. He is both sacrifice and scribe, his existence a wound, his silence a scar. The world wants him buried, but the Erdtree's design is deeper. It needs the hunters to die, needs their silence to ensure the question remains, what was stolen before the theft? What was never meant to be found? The Erdtree does not choose life, it chooses containment. It binds the dead to its roots, but only those whose absence will not unravel the lie of order, the omens. Those who live in death, they are rejected because their existence whispers a truth the Erdtree cannot afford. The dark was never enemy. It was origin. The furtive pygmy carries this truth in his blood, not as malice, as memory. He is the scar where the first theft left a wound. His unwritten history is no accident, it is a counterforce. A shadow archive of what the Erdtree excised, proof that the dark was not defeated, but buried. Hunters who find him do not wander off. They are unmade, their minds are pruned, their paths erased, their deaths folded into the tree's vast, silent ledger. The Erdtree needs them gone. Their failure to return is not oversight, it is maintenance. The dark is no demon, it is the void before the gods made their bargain. A state of becoming, the Erdtree's roots coil to starve it back into nothing, but the pygmy's knowledge is a key, a catalyst. To let him speak is to let the cycle crack, to let the question burn, what was stolen before the theft. What was never meant to be found. The hunters vanish because the tree remembers, because the dark, in its quiet way, remembers too. And the balance between them is not peace, it is a wound dressed in leaves. The Erdtree does not forget, it erases. The pygmy's whispers unravel a truth. The first flame's death is not fate, it is failure. The gods, in their hunger to chain the dark, carved their own noose. They parceled the dark soul into fragments human-id believing mortals could be pawns. But the pygmy remembers the uncut thread, a history where the flame was never meant to burn. What if the cycle is not a loop but a wound? The Erdtree's roots feed on silence. Every hunter who finds the pygmy becomes a thread in its tapestry of oblivion. Their deaths are not accidents, they are stitches. To know the pygmy's truth is to see the lands between as a prison, its order a cage of forgotten names. The gods feared not the dark's malice but its memory. The dark does not corrupt, it completes. The pygmy's erasure is a door left unopened. What else lies buried? The Erdtree's leaves whisper of other voices strangled before they could speak, other truths, other liberations. The flame's fading is a symptom, not a sentence. The god's cycle is a scar, not a law. And the pygmy's existence is a question the Erdtree cannot answer. What if the dark is not the enemy? What if it is the only witness, the only thing left that remembers what was erased? And what if the hunter's vanishing is not a warning? What if it is a lesson, that some memories are too sharp to hold, too bright to burn? The Erdtree does not reject the omens, it consumes them. The pygmy's memory is a shard of unwritten truth, a truth that fractures the tree's carefully pruned narrative. Hunters who find him do not vanish. They become part of the erasure. You've felt it, haven't you? That hollowing in the mind when the lands between whisper too loudly. The tree's roots do not seek to bury the pygmy, they seek to unmake him, to unmake us. What if the hunter's fate is not an anomaly but a mirror, a reflection of what happens to all who dare to remember? The tree's silence is not peace, it is a ledger, every name added, every shadow swallowed, an author thread cut from the tapestry of forbidden knowledge. But the pygmy remains. Why? Because even erasure has its limits, or perhaps its purpose. Share your guess, the tree listens. The Erdtree does not reject the omens, it consumes them. The pygmy's memory is a shard of unwritten truth, a truth that fractures the tree's carefully pruned narrative. Hunters who find him do not vanish. They become part of the erasure. You've felt it, haven't you? That hollowing in the mind when the lands between whisper too loudly. The tree's roots do not seek to bury the pygmy, they seek to unmake him, to unmake us. What if the hunter's fate is not an anomaly but a mirror, a reflection of what happens to all who dare to remember? The tree's silence is not peace, it is a ledger, every name added, every shadow swallowed, an author thread cut from the tapestry of forbidden knowledge. But the pygmy remains. Why? Because